Good morning, beautiful people of YouTube. Welcome in for another new video. If you're new to my channel, my name is Derek and I like to adventure. I have built this channel off of all different kinds and styles of adventuring. I hope you find something useful in my channel. Enjoy the new video. See here, we're at this kiosk, Hickory Creek parking lot. There's some maps on here. We are in the Cohutta Mountains, also known as the Chattahoochee-Oconee National Forest area. We will be hiking the Hickory Creek Trail down to the Conasauga River Trail, and then we will hike Conasauga River Trail up to the intersection of Brayfield, where Panther Creek Trail, Hickory Creek Trail North, and Conasauga River Trails all connect. And the idea is that we can go to Brayfield, jump on Panther Creek, and try to find Panther Creek Falls. This will make the second time that I've attempted to hike to Panther Creek Falls. The first time I hiked the Conasauga River Trail from Betty Gap down about 6 miles to Brayfield. And then I crossed Conasauga River, got on Panther Creek. I never could find the waterfall. I don't know what the deal was. It seemed like I got to an area where the trail just ended. I know that's not the case because I know people who have hiked to Panther Creek Falls. I know I've seen a lot of pictures of Panther Creek Falls. So it's just a matter of going back and finding the right trail and just making my way up to the waterfall. So y'all stay tuned. We'll see what we can do. 7:35 and we're officially walking. I want to say we got 4-ish miles, 4.5 miles, I think is what the trail report said, to the intersection with Conasauga River Trail. And then we got like a short 1/4 mile hike up to Brayfield on the Conasauga River Trail. This is a brand new trail for me. I have not hiked this trail. I also feel like it's my responsibility to give a short disclaimer about anything you see me hiking in the Cohutta Mountains. If you've seen any of my other Cohutta Mountain videos, you'll hear this same disclaimer, but I always feel like it's good to repeat it. The Cohutta Mountains are some of the most rugged, technical, steep, mountainous terrain that I've been in North Georgia and even southern Tennessee. Nothing else really compares in the general area of North Georgia to the Cohutta Mountains and the terrain. A lot of people get lost out here from not knowing the area, not knowing the terrain, to not being prepared, to not having the right equipment, the right navigation. Sometimes the outcomes are good, and there have been a few outcomes that were not so good. So I think it's important to remember that this is a very, very, very remote section. 40,000 acres. There's only a couple Forest Service roads, no major highways. So if you get out here and you get lost or you get hurt, there's going to be a period of time, a long period of time, before any help gets to you or finds you. If you're coming out solo, well, honestly, either way, solo or with a friend, always have a plan. Always know your plan in detail, and always give your plan to at least 3 people who are able-bodied and know and understand navigation, know and understand terrain, and kind of have a general idea of where you're going to be. Usually my wife gets it, and just so that in the event that something does happen, she will have a detailed plan of what to give SAR, and then I give it to 2 other people. This trip I gave it to 4 people. I wrote it all out so everybody has it in written form, so there's no guessing what I may or may not have been doing. And I also, as I mentioned, have the inReach. So it's kind of 5 different contingency plans there on where I'm going to be, what I'm going to be doing, and what would the event be, and or how we would go about handling an emergency. Oh yeah, one final thing, and I have to throw this in there because I get asked this question quite a bit. Do I carry bear protection? So the general answer is no, I do not. I am by no means an ultralight backpacker, so I already run a little on the heavy side with my pack. The last thing I want to do is be throwing a firearm or a couple cans of bear spray in there to make my pack even heavier. I have hiked over 1,200 miles all through the Southeast in all different environments, conditions, seasons. I have had several encounters with bears. Never one of them has turned foul. I've never been mock charged. I've never been attacked. I've never had one. The closest call I've had was in the Great Smoky Mountain National Park, which the bears are protected there, by the way. That makes a big difference. We had a bear come into a shelter at Klingman's Dome with about 12 people in the shelter. It's a problem shelter. The ridge runners came in and closed it the next morning. So again, the general answer is no, I do not carry bear protection. I guess I should preface it and say when I'm backpacking on a long trip. I do have a gun with me today. The bears are not protected here in the Cohuttas. And so what that means is generally speaking, they're more scared of humans than we are of them. So at any point you see one, usually, keep that in mind, usually they will take off and run the other way before you even say anything. A little hey bear will usually get them going good. The reason why I've decided to carry today specifically is because although bears don't hibernate really in Georgia, they should be moving around trying to put on winter fat, and they will have offspring. So I really don't want to be put in a situation, especially down on the river where they may be fishing and foraging for berries. I don't want to be put in a situation where I'm between a mama and her cubs. Things could go deadly real fast. So just for spare safety, I do have the gun today. So hopefully that answers that question. I just love hiking in this type environment. Reminds me a lot of hiking in the Smokies, which is one of my favorite places I've ever hiked. Everything's so green and wet and lush. It's just, it really does make for a beautiful hike. But found another really nice campsite. big flat area where people have cleared out. The trail is just, the main trail is just right there. You can see the access. So I'm gonna go ahead and pin this location. What's going on here? Okay. If I can figure out how. Let's see. So Rough Creek is starting to widen up a little bit, and kind of looks like it may be dropping off some elevation over there. Kind of makes me think we're about to jump off into Cohutta River. Nice little creek crossing here of Rough Creek. Looks like people have built it up, so I shouldn't have to change shoes yet. It's a cool little spillover. I do believe we have just intersected the Cohutta River Trail. And so this is the confluence of Rough Creek here on the left, flowing into Cohutta River. Look at all the stuff that's washed up. There's some giant mounds up here I'll show you guys in a few minutes. Like, I guess this Cohutta River just blows out whenever it floods and just leaves stuff everywhere. I mean, that is a giant pile of stuff. Took a pretty solid swimming hole, starting from way up there all the way down and around through here. Probably holds fish too. What an absolutely magnificent place to be able to hike into and see. You guys ever eat blackberries? Usually I like to wash them, but nice little sweet snack. These guys right here are nice and ripe, but they're not very big. There's a decent sized one. Oh yeah. There's another big one. Oof, almost dropped it. Man. Blackberries. Something about fresh picked blackberries. I mean, even those without being washed or put in water, are just so good. It's so calm and clear. Just been standing here looking to see if I can see any little fishies swimming around. This is probably the calmest section that I've been on. I'm sure the fish are in there. Not really seeing a whole lot. climbed up away from the river, and it's so quiet. So I do believe we have finally made it to Brayfield. Awesome camping spot right here. Perfect to put tent down. Nice grass area. Okay. Hickory Creek Trail goes straight here across. Terre Britches Trail, Panther Creek this way. We're in one of those weird situations again where I'm here and the trail is just gone. I mean, I don't really see much of anything that resembles a trail to me. Everything is just there. Like, the trail came in over there. There's a little camping area, but there's no other trail. So I pulled out the GPS and it's telling me to walk straight this way. Apparently this is the trail. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna follow the GPS. It's actually more this way. I wonder if it crosses the creek. Okay, so I see a blaze, a blue blaze on that tree, and then a blue blaze across on that tree. I don't know. Anyways, winter berries are blooming. And so with these guys, don't eat these guys, but instead pick you a handful. Grab you a handful of these long needle pines, just pull them off like this. Get you a good handful of the winter berries. And if you can find them, turkey tail mushrooms, preferably new growth or younger, but any of them will work as long as they're not hard. And put it into your pot and boil it, make yourself a tea. Very, very, very nutritious. You know, could potentially, in a situation where you were out for multiple days and you started running out of food, if you could gather those things, you could replace some vital nutrients that your body needs and possibly extend your life on Earth a little longer if you're just a little proactive. So I have another correction to make about something I said earlier. I said that I had hiked into Brayfield from Betty Gap before the first portion of the lower Conestoga River Trail, and I have hiked from Betty Gap to this point where I'm standing. This is what I thought was Brayfield. It is obviously not, because I passed Brayfield a mile ago. However, this is the trailhead for Panther Creek and Panther Creek Falls. And this is the sign for it. The sign is super old and you can barely even read it. But it says Panther Creek Trail, Panther Creek Falls, this way. really getting started on Panther Creek, and already got a lot of blowdown stuff to mess with. Looks like people's been coming out here pretty regularly though, which is odd because Cohutta River was so overgrown. This one's pretty overgrown too. So making pretty good time up through here. I just looked at the GPS and we're about to get to a point where the elevation lines are real close together and you can tell that it's just a big hill. Plus I can look there in the distance and see there's a blaze. There's been a couple blazes. Just had an interesting area right here where I needed to cross the creek, but there was no clear indication that I needed to cross the creek. The only way I actually ended up realizing what I needed to do is I was looking at the GPS and it was telling me to go across the creek. And I was looking and looking, and then finally someone had tied some orange ribbon around a branch and I could see where people were scurrying up and down. So I was like, maybe that's it. Took it and came up through here. Looks like a cave right up there. Old Yogi Bear's probably up there hanging out. Came from way down there, came up, came down. Sure, I'll put some meat right here. I'm looking around, I'm like, okay, there's a blaze. Where am I supposed to go? Nothing. I can hear, and I can see this valley, and I can hear the water coming down. So I'm looking, all over here. So I gotta cross and then go up, and I'm gonna guess that way. Getting close. This has turned into a pretty rough trail. Water's over there. And waterfall, I'm guessing, is still above us. I've been climbing like probably 500 or 600 feet elevation the last quarter mile. So I know it's got to be in close. I told the wife I'd be leaving out of here around 5, be home around 6 or 7. So I try to stick by that as much as possible. I guess technically I could have till sundown if I really wanted, but I told her one thing already and I honor my word, so that's what we're gonna make happen. Finally getting my first look at the waterfall. And it's way up there though. Barely see right up in there where my finger is. Water flowing down. Looks pretty tall, but I still gotta make my way up through this mess. Okay, here's the big reveal. Not much, but I made it, and that's what I'm happy about. I don't know that even with a lot of rain, how powerful that flow would be. Now to find somewhere to sit and have lunch and rest for a bit. Oh man. And this is what it's all about right here. Whew. 11:52. Excuse the mess, but trying to cook some lunch so I can re-energize for the hike back down to Cohutta. So I'm gonna heat this water up. We're gonna cook some beef stew. All right, so here's kind of a rundown of what happened over the last hour. I filmed some of it, as you've seen, when I was cooking my food, but I thought about it and I was like, I just want to relax up here without the camera and enjoy the view and enjoy my food. So basically what I did is I cooked my food. I hung my hammock right up there, overlooking the view. Purified water, I soaked my feet. I laid in the hammock for about 20 minutes after I got done eating. I plugged my GPS, my Garmin, on charge. It's back up to 95%. And yeah, refueled with some food. Had a Snickers bar, of course. Rehydrated. And now it's time to make our way back down into Cohutta River Valley. Okay, so I have officially made it down off of the steepest part of this valley. Now I'm back on an easier section of trail, but this section has a lot of blowdowns, so I have to navigate through the blowdowns. That'll take me a little bit of time, but I am making much faster progress down than I made up. It's a good thing. But man, my legs are just getting eat up on both sides, coming through all that thick stuff. Oh well, gotta pay to play. Alright guys, I haven't updated you guys in a while. I've just been kind of walking, doing my own thing, minding my own business, thinking out loud, talking to myself, all the cool things you get to do when you hike solo. I'm actually pretty close back to Cohutta River now. If you remember earlier on in the video, this was one of the areas where I said I didn't know where to cross and there was an orange ribbon hanging on the tree. So we've made it back this far, and it's only been right out an hour of hiking, so I made probably double the time coming back. See the pool here is holding some fish. Probably little creek chubs, but fish nonetheless. Actually, I'm not sure. I just seen a decent sized one swim in front of that rock over there. Or something's going on. They're chasing something. Whoa. Yeah, I don't know. That one fish has something in its mouth and they're chasing him. Oh man, what a wonderful sight. I've made it back to the confluence into Cohutta River. Woohoo! No more blowdowns to crawl over, no more blowdowns to crawl under, no more getting my legs eat up. And one of the more important things that I was starting to worry about is I'll now be on the other side of the river if it does start raining when a storm blows in. It got real cloudy. I think I heard some thunder off in the distance. And the thing, I've gotten stuck on Jack's River before in a high water event where afternoon rainstorm came in, dumped like 2 inches of rain. And these mountain rivers and mountain creeks just splash like super fast. And it's not something you want to be in or stuck on. And so if this was to flash, I mean, you can see where the high water gets at. There'll be no way I could get across. I'll be stuck on that side. Okay, we are rocking and rolling. Back on Cohutta River Trail now. We are between Panther Creek and Bray Field. And this is the one area that I was talking about that's still kind of growing up. But even still, it's nothing like what Panther Creek was. So we should still be able to blow through here pretty quick. When I changed my shoes back there, wet my face and my head, washed my arms, I went ahead and soaking wet my bandana, put it back on. So kind of try to keep my head cool. Chugged down another liter of water. I used the bathroom earlier, noticed that I was getting a little bit dehydrated. So that's 2 liters. Let's see, no, I'm sorry. 1.5 liters I drank earlier and another liter there. So 2.5 liters of water down the day, and still borderline dehydrated. So I didn't get to intake any electrolytes this morning. That would have been a huge factor. I probably could have stayed more hydrated with electrolytes, but it is what it is. Full send. Well, my goal was to be back to the car at 4:30. As you can see, not a single other person here still. And it is 4:20. Beat my goal by 10 minutes. I'm going to call that a win. The heavens have opened up and are blessing us with some rain right now. That's nice. Let's check what our stats are on the Garmin. .1 miles, 8 hours and close to 50 minutes. It's a hard hike. I'm gonna get this pack off, get the car unlocked, and then I'll get back with y'all on my final reviews and thoughts of this hike. Okay, so got that wet shirt off, wet bandana, getting ready to roll out of here. Haven't done it in a while, so I'm gonna go ahead and get a review and my thoughts on the hike today. Well, let's do this. I'm gonna break it down into the 3 sections that it was, and I'm gonna talk about each one. First would be Hickory Creek Trail. I wanna make it clear that this is the Hickory Creek Trail from Mill Creek Road that goes down to the Cohutta River. There is another part of Hickory Creek Trail that goes across Cohutta River that's supposedly really bad with blowdowns. I did not go there, so I couldn't tell you. From Mill Creek Road down to Cohutta, the trail is great. Super easy, super clear. Couple blowdowns, but they're real easy to step over, real easy to slide under. I had no problems going down this trail or up this trail. Okay, so Cohutta River Trail, and I'm gonna kind of break it into 2 sections. The whole distance from where Hickory Creek meets to Panther Creek meets is a little over 2 miles. About 1.25 miles or so in is a place called Brayfield. So Cohutta River Trail from Hickory Creek to Brayfield was great, no issues, straight through, easy walk. From Brayfield to Panther Creek was a little more difficult. It was more overgrown. You can tell people don't use it a lot. The trail was real tight. You were pushing through the bushes. If you don't like bugs or if you don't like itching, probably not for you. But generally speaking, it was still rather easy. Now for Panther Creek Falls. So I also want to be clear about this trail. I only know from Cohutta River up Panther Creek Falls to the top of the falls. I do not know anything above the falls. So there's a section between the top of the falls and East Cowpen Road. I don't know anything about that section. I didn't hike none of it. But from the Cohutta River up, I'm gonna break it into 2 sections. The first section up to the bottom of the steep valley is manageable. A lot of blowdowns, not very well marked. You can lose the trail very easily at creek crossings, but it is doable. Once you get to the valley and you start up the waterfall, it's gnarly. It's straight up. There's no switchbacking, none of that. It is straight up the side of the waterfall, and it is a boulder strewn garden that is overgrown with weeds as tall as I am. It was rough. So I was thinking about it on the hike back, and I can't think of a trail that I would name the hardest trail I've ever hiked at the moment. But I'm gonna give Panther Creek Falls Trail the 2nd spot. I'm gonna leave that 1st spot open because I don't know what should go there. But this was Panther Creek Falls was one of the hardest trails that I've hiked in a long time, and maybe even ever. It was hard. It was tough. It was physically tough and mentally tough, but the reward at the top was well worth it. Now the hike back down Panther Creek Falls was not quite as bad as the climb, but it still sucked. A lot of work on your legs, a lot of work on your knees. My legs were shaking at some points, trying to step down into different boulders, trying to watch my footing, trying not to fall. There's a lot going on with that trail. If I had to guess, I would recommend hiking in from East Cowpen if you want to see the falls, because hiking in from Cohutta, I understand now why the trail is very, very little used. All right, so I think that's gonna wrap up this trip. Stay tuned for more. I will catch you guys on the next one.